Hello and welcome back to another video on Asia Now. Today I'm actually outside by the pool, so I hope you guys can excuse the noises. I just don't like the lighting in my new place. Speaking of places, in this video we'll talk about what's going on with rental prices in the Philippines. I'm going to read the question, go through some of the comments, and I'm going to tell you guys my personal thoughts about rent prices within the Philippines. And by the Philippines, I mean mainly within the cities I've traveled to, like Cebu, Manila, Davao, just some of the major places. Here's the question. Someone asked, what's with the people on prices here? Searching for anything on Facebook Marketplace, and they either obscure the price by putting something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1 or anything random like that, or they straight up just don't put any price. So narrowing down the price function becomes useless. Even at the stores, you have to hunt for price tag or spend half your time in the price scanner, or worse, when there isn't any, so you have to go to the cashier and wait in line just to check the price, or go through the uncomfortable ordeal of cutting in line. And then there's a send PM. You post an ad as a buyer, and instead of just commenting on the post, they tell you PM them. Not even PMing you, but you have to PM them, which is beyond me. Maybe just say, hi, it's me, PMing you. Absolutely ridiculous. If there was an award for time wasting and efficiency, Philippines will be the undefeated champion. Okay, some great points made there. I've had the same issues. Now let's go ahead and tell you about what he's talking about. Basically, he's getting a bit frustrated by trying to rent or buy something online in the Facebook Market group when someone posts something without telling you the actual price, or if you want to know the price, they say to PM them. Why wouldn't they PM you if they know you're interested in it? Anyways, that's beside the point. Let's take a look at some comments before I tell you guys my personal thoughts. A gentleman says, welcome to the Philippines, where to get from A to B, they start at Z and try to waste every minute of your time and your life. PM for price. Why, moron? Why not just post a price? Unless the price changes because the seller believes they are the smartest simpleton on the face of the earth, and they have to devise a plan that not even a foreigner has any idea about. If a foreigner asks about the item for sale, you simply jack the price up 200%. It's foolproof. I personally believe the same thing. I don't like it. I think it's unethical and a waste of time. Whoever it is, whichever country, when someone posts something, list the price. If it's within someone's budget, they'll go ahead and contact you, not just the other way around. PM me first or contact me for details. It should not be a secret. It saves everyone's time, right? As a seller, I don't want people contact me if it's not within the budget, where I have to go ahead back and forth, try to see what that buyer's budget is. So I do understand the frustration when it comes to not listing the actual price on the item you're selling. I just don't get it. Maybe you guys know what's going on here in the Philippines. Leave it down below, because as a foreigner, that's what it seems like. Whether it's true or not, whether that's the case or the intention, when the price is not listed, we just assume you're waiting to see who wants to buy the item. Therefore, you can go ahead and determine how much to charge for it. Someone says, it is how things are here, how business is conducted. Why not accept? Or are you folks too ethnocentric to adapt? I didn't even know what ethnocentric means, but I guess too concentrated within your own region or ethnicity, whatever. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're living here long enough, there's no sense of trying to battle these things, right? These customs, these norms, these traditions. If that's the way things are, then that's the way they are. Send a person a message. You can't go ahead and change a whole country overnight based on something. Even though I simply disagree with this kind of business, just for time's sake, I don't like it. But I definitely would adjust and adapt to it quickly, knowing this is how things are done in the Philippines, because I had the same issues when I first came to the Philippines. I was trying to find apartments and things like that. And I'm going to talk about apartments in a second and why they're so expensive in the Philippines. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more questions, or answers I should say, before I get into all that. Another person voices their discontent by saying, you got that right, nothing is done quickly and the paperwork is crazy. I watched someone open a bank account and they had at least 15 papers with stamps all over them. It took 3 visits to the bank to finally get it done, and each visit was at least 2 hours. Nothing is done efficiently. That is a concern amongst a lot of foreigners in the Philippines. Things are not efficient. However, once again, island time, Filipino time, whatever you want to call it, whether it's a stereotype, whether it's something you agree or disagree, it is the way it is in the Philippines, unfortunately. You know, I have to deal with it, and I think people coming here should be aware of it. And if you cannot adapt or change to it, then simply try to find a solution, right? Complaining is not always going to change something. If you want to complain, maybe write an email to whoever's in charge, maybe voice your concern in a way that there's a solution to it, right? I don't know what the problem is. It's just easier for me to just adapt, to be honest. I know it can get really frustrating, but let's go on to talk about what is going on with prices in the Philippines when it comes to rentals. I'll be honest, when I first came to Cebu City 5 years ago, I was a little bit surprised to see the price comparison between how expensive the Philippines was with neighboring countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, even Malaysia to a certain degree, although at that time I had not visited Malaysia yet. But going back to the prices, three things determine prices of any place or anything. Number one, supply and demand. Number two, how much someone's willing to pay for it. And in this case, location is also key. And number three, options of trying to buy that item. So location, most people that come to the Philippines, usually, I think everybody probably lands either in Manila or in Cebu. That being said, most people don't like to travel very far, especially in their first visit, so they stay within these major areas such as Cebu City or BGC, Makati, any major part of Manila, for example, right? So that being said, the prices go up because of high demand for it. Therefore, it may not be justified, it may not be worth the value, but there's high demand in these locations, thus the reason why somebody is expected to pay a lot more for something that it's basically not worth it. Let's be honest. A lot of studios are basically just rooms with a bathroom and a small kitchenette, and they're going anywhere from 500 to 1,000 even, depending on where the location is, how new the condo is, and what it's coming with. And I'm gonna get to another thing. So the first was supply and demand. The second is location. I kind of touched on that, why most people are staying in those places. And the last thing is options of being able to rent, right? So the first thing is foreigners coming to the Philippines don't have too many options initially, because most places want a 6-month or a 12-month rental term. A lot of people don't want to commit. I highly recommend against that anyways, to go ahead and rent a place that long without even staying there a week or two. So they go on Airbnb, Booking.com, Agoda, these major websites, which obviously raise the prices, right? They have fees they have to cover, that owners want to make money. There's always middlemen. And if you're going to use Facebook pages, usually it's not directly from the owner, right? The owner might be in a whole different country. It may be an OFW. It may be a foreigner living in like who knows where and just renting out the place using a middleman and management company, and they want to make their money. So the longer they rent out the place, the more money they make. So when it comes to foreigners trying to rent a place for 1 month or 2 months, which I consider short term to be honest, and where it's included like furniture, maybe utilities, because wherever I travel, I rent all inclusive. I cannot wait a month later or 2 weeks later for you to send me the electricity bill. I get it, that's the way owners should do it, but for me, I'm traveling often. I can't always rely on people giving me accurate information or to get my deposit back, all that stuff. So yeah, I use Airbnb too, so that's gonna raise the prices, which means yeah, these are some of the factors that are affecting price rentals in the Philippines. Now some of you might say, well, those same things can be applied to any country like Thailand, Vietnam. Why do I get so much more value when I go to those places? And that, I don't know. I just I really can't tell you. But what I do know is that people are gonna go ahead and list the price when there's basically people will pay. So the point is, as long as the people are willing to pay these prices, there's always going to be the market for it. Because an owner of a unit can just have their place empty for 1 month or 2 months and not rented for, let's say, 500. When somebody comes along 2 months later, even after vacancy, someone wants to rent it for 700. Now they have 10 months of rent at 700 instead of 12 months of rent at 500. So those are some of the factors why prices for rent specifically are through the roof. Why I just still don't want to know. I still want to know why there's no price listing when it comes to Facebook postings. What is that tactic? Does that even work? I feel like it just annoys people. I know personally, I will not contact anyone to get a price. Even if I do, I don't really trust them after that, right? Why didn't you post the price initially? That's a whole different story. But let me know what you think of Philippines, Cebu, Manila, anywhere you're living. I mean, if you're coming here long term, if you have a loved one, a girlfriend, a wife, family, and you know you're gonna be here for a year or whatever, you can get some crazy, amazing deals, I'm sure. You can get excellent places near the water, maybe it's got solar panels, maybe you can get like Starlink. There are options, but for short-term visitors like myself that like to jump around, that have only 1 month or 2 months, that don't have significant others, that is tying them down for a long time in the Philippines, it can be challenging and tricky, but at the end, I wanna say that it's still a lot cheaper than Canada. It's still a lot cheaper than the US. So keep that in mind as well. I know a lot of people are coming here on a pension, on some savings, and the budget can be tight, but I'm telling you, it's still a great place to rent in comparison to Western countries. And that's it. If you guys are enjoying this, check this out. Palm made this little subscribe thing, so go ahead and show her some love. Tell me if you enjoy it, subscribe to this channel, and click that like button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.